Mm. All right, y'all. What it do? What it do? What it do? Woo! All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Late for the Party on Anchor FM. I am your host, Melodious, aka Coverboy, the Modern Marvel. That's right, you guys. Oh man, we're going to get into a quick little In My Mind segment about. Not every day I talk about this, but I talk about wrestling because don't get me wrong, it was one of the pop cultures that I actually loved and actually watched as a kid. And, it was actually pretty cool around the time where WCW and WWE or WWF or anything that was going on. Well, we had wrestlers like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, then we had Hollywood Hogan in the NWO when Sting came back with the black and white, when he was acting like the Crow and whatnot. But after a while, kind of like fell off a little bit. But then, CM Punk, started to rise to the occasion. And this is what we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about CM Punk returning to wrestling, but not only returning to wrestling, he is in AEW. So now AEW is honestly, it's a startup courtesy of Tony Khan, Tony Khan's dad, who runs the Jacksonville the Jaguars, and a lot of other things. And I mean, like, it's a trip because now it looks like it could give somewhat a run for his WWE, a run for his money. But I mean, honestly, we're looking at it like in the aspect of what would happen if, like what would happen if, AEW got some big players, and now it's starting to get a lot of folks from WWE for letting a lot of folks go. Now a lot of folks who went over, RIP to Brody Lee, who was Luke Harper. He crossed over. A lot of folks were crossing over. Now we got Aleister Black, now Malachi Black or Tommy End over there. Paul White, known as the Big Show. Mark Henry's over there. Christian Cage is over there now. Chris Jericho. But what I was talking about with my cousin before is that, AEW definitely is one of those startups, but it doesn't have a face a face that everybody recognizes. And I was telling them, like, the face of AEW right now is not Kenny Omega. It's not, other than for the hardcore fans, but when you're trying to get into when you're trying to get in a big television and everything else, and it's not like a knock to like Kenny Omega or Cody or anybody like the Young Bucks or anything, but when you're talking about the face of the company at the time, it's freaking Chris Jericho, because everybody know who Chris Jericho is because of WCW, WWF, WWE. I mean, he's been everywhere. Not only that, he's a rock star and everything. I mean, and he's doing his thing. So, but he's in his 50s now. And right now, the face of AEW right now, I mean, not even knocking Jon Moxley, but when you're looking at somebody like CM Punk, you need a guy like that. And honestly, for someone like CM Punk to just come out of, just hearing that pop, oh my God, that pop was so great. Like, it was, he was, in 2012, I started watching wrestling again because CM Punk was one of those guys that really did it. And he wasn't afraid to speak his mind when he saw something that wasn't going right. You know what I'm saying? He was basically like the Rage Against the Machine, so it was just like, and it's like, he is that guy that's fighting against the system. Something that a lot of folks like we were seeing, like we expected to see from like, well, kind of like how like just our modern version of Stone Cold. But like Stone Cold, of course, it was going off of story driven. But even though like when he was in when CM Punk was in WWE, of course, like but his promos were like, you know, some of them were like hitting the nail right on the head, like with some of the like the things that he saw that was wrong. And like he was going up against cats like Triple H, and freaking he was going up against Triple H, and he was going up against Vince. So I mean, in that aspect, you can't really I mean, not many people were really like tugging at the boss's like shirt and like really getting in their faces about it. And that's what blew him up. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like he's a beast like Brock Lesnar, or but he has his own unique charisma to where like he was honest about, I mean, he's honest about how he is. And that's actually dope because, you know, of course, like when you see something and he wanted to change, but you know, that's why he left. And then when he left, they kind of did him dirty. They did CM Punk greasy after he, before he left and whatnot. I mean, how the hell do you slide, you know, like a letter of termination on your wedding day? That's messed up. And you know, and his wife AJ Lee was still working with the company around that time. So, you know, but for CM Punk to actually come back, I mean, even though he did his MMA run at UFC, wasn't great, but at least I can't knock him from doing what he did. I mean, it takes a lot of balls to train and then go into that kind of field. And, you know, look, you can, like, he did it. You know what I'm saying? You can't knock someone, because I bet money half of us would even get up there and do what he did, you know? So, I mean, straight out, got to give kudos and props to the fact that he did that. But now he's back. He's back in AEW. And I mean, AEW needs that. I mean, right now, looking at that, I mean, even though I've seen, okay, John Cena's back. All right, cool. But how long is he going to be back? I mean, he's not going to be there forever. I mean, he's going to be doing movies and whatnot. So he's only there temporary. Brock Lesnar came back. I mean, that's pretty cool. But then, you know, he's only going to be there temporarily. Okay, Becky Lynch is back. All right, that's fine. But, I mean, that's cool. Unless if she gets knocked up again for another 9 months or something like that. But, I mean, that's fine. But, I mean, with that, it's like, but with CM Punk, I mean, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. I mean, that's just as big. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest wrestlers that, I mean, out there right now, next to the equivalent of like John Cena, or he's like up there, you know, just with how the crowd was popping, how I wouldn't even call it a promo. He was just talking about how he felt, you know what I'm saying? And that was cool. Just how he felt about how the industry, like how the wrestling industry was, and how he was in it, and how much love he has for it, and how much he got sick when he was in wrestling entertainment, you know, in the entertainment side, when you're actually a wrestler. And I could see that, and I feel that, and that's actually cool. But damn, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. But I mean, AEW can't go wrong. Obviously, it's like the creative input that, I mean, they can slide a creative input, but it's not gonna fly unless if it's like his on his stamp of approval. I mean, like I said, like if anybody being in there right now, like CM Punk has pretty much any say so that he does what he does and what he does not do. So I mean, I don't think anybody would have uh any objections to anything that he wants to do. I mean, right now he wants to go head to head with Darby Allin, and that's a good start. I mean, for me, just don't rush him right to the damn belt. Like, just let him get his stride. Let him, like he said, he wants to help. He wants to start getting this company, and like he wants to help. I mean, and he wants to wrestle these young cats, and maybe wrestling somebody like CM Punk wrestling somebody like CM Punk with the name that he has. I mean, with that, that's gonna push whoever he wrestles down to the letter. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big plus. And that's a big plus for the company and whoever he wrestles against. So, I mean, damn. And I wonder what's going to happen when, like, if he deals with the whole thing with Colt Cabana, because Colt Cabana's on a Dark Order. And I think Colt Cabana was trying to sue at the time. That's going to be a trip. We'll see what happens with that. Probably water under the bridge by now. But either way, man. That's going to be so cool. That's going to be so cool. But I'm going to get into the next segment. I just wanted to get a little in my mind about that. CM Punk is back on AEW. So he says he's got the time and he's going to be making his wrestling debut at All In. Because there's All Out and All In. But that's in September 5th. So got a little bit of time. It's around the corner, so him versus Darby Allin. If anything, that should be the main event. If anything, if not, but hey, it is what it is. But if anything, like he said, CM Punk is a big name. I mean, he's a bigger name than the current champion right now. So, but like I said, I wouldn't want to rush getting him into the belt title the title run right now. Just give him a couple of wins, maybe give him a little couple warm-ups, let him fight whoever he wants to fight, and then if he wants to really get back into the run of things, then let him do it. But straight out, welcome back to CM Punk. Woo! Jesus, that's gonna be off the hook. So freaking Dynamite on Wednesday, Rampage on Friday. So man, all right. Either way, I'm gonna get off the hook. This is the In My Mind segment on Late for the Party on Anchor FM and YouTube and Facebook Live. So either way, you guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and support to the podcast and the YouTube channel. Also, check out all the cool merch like this, my bro code, the Late for the Party t-shirts, and all the cool stuff. You can check that out in the bio on my YouTube channel. Everything is linked. All you got to do is hit the bio and you'll see it. Man, I'm telling you. Oh, I love this shirt. It's so clean. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face. Cover boy, the Modern Marvel. My bro code is platinum. That's right. Either way. But like I said, you can listen to the podcast also on all 10 platforms. So either way, you guys, I am your host, Melodious, aka Coverboy, the Modern Marvel. That's right, signing off. And as always, if you want to be late for the party, turn it up to 11.